This one does not like to face the right direction. I hit 100K on YouTube! I've never opened champagne before and I'm really scared. Does it just fly off after I twist this thing? Oh. Okay. Do you want to open this champagne for me? That was so loud. That's so much liquid. Congrats. Thanks. Okay, it's like 2 p.m. so the idea of drinking champagne right now feels very strange, but gotta have a little sip. Thank you guys so much for 100K on YouTube. I can't believe this. I'll keep it short, but I gotta be sappy for like 20 seconds. I made my first ever YouTube video when I was 12 years old, which is wild. I'm now 24, so I've been making YouTube videos, not consistently, but like every now and again as a hobby since I was 12. It's just always been such a fun hobby. I never imagined that it would be my career. The last year has been wild and I'm so happy that I get to laugh with you guys and cry with you guys and geek out about books with you guys on this channel. There's nothing I love more than reading and this community and connecting with all of you guys. So thank you guys so much. I thought it'd be fun to do a little giveaway as a thank you for 100K. And so this is gonna be kind of a hybrid video because I wanted to annotate my favorite books to give away to you guys. So it'll be a giveaway slash an annotate with me slash rereading my favorite books in this video. And I'm gonna have all the giveaway info on my Instagram. Basically, just follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, and then comment on my Instagram post what book that you want me to send you guys. And I'm gonna pick 5 people because I've got 5 books. And it's open internationally, so no matter where you live, I got you. So the 5 books that I'm doing this giveaway is first of all, Beach Read, which I have been wanting to reread this book ever since I first read it. This is the book that got me into reading. I feel like it's such a popular OG book talk book. I love Emily Henry. It's a rivals to lovers romance between 2 writers. The next up is The Song of Achilles, which I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I'm scared to reread it because it did make me cry and I don't know if I'm ready to go through that emotional pain again, but this is a Greek mythology romance. Next up, The Selection. I love The Selection. This is a dystopian fantasy romance about, I think, 35 girls competing for the prince's heart, basically to be his wife and one day be the new queen. Then Killjoy, which isn't like a top book of mine, but I did get sent 2 copies, so I was like, what do I do with the second copy? Give it away to you guys. And this is the prequel to the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, which is my favorite young adult mystery series, I think, ever. And then lastly, It Ends With Us by Miss Colleen Hoover. This is such a sad book about domestic violence that also explores more of a healthy, happy romance in the sequel, It Starts With Us. Oh my gosh, how do I annotate? My annotation style is really simple. I think it's so cool when people like tab and like have these color codes. I think it's awesome. That's just like not really me. I feel like when I read, I want it to just be like purely fun. I never want to feel like I'm like in English class or like doing like work while I'm reading. So I either don't annotate, or if I do annotate, I'm super simple. Just use pen to like write all my thoughts, underline things that are important, and then use a highlighter to highlight all my favorite quotes. So that's it. I have read a page 15 so far. Rereading this, forgot how much I love Aspen. Basically the plot of the book, like I kind of said earlier, is that America ends up getting selected for the selection, and the selection is where 35 girls compete for the prince's heart. And before America ends up getting selected for the selection, she is in love with Aspen, and their relationship, especially in the beginning of the book, is just so cute. This quote, "That was my great ambition, not to be Ilia's princess, to be Aspen's." Like, she would rather be Aspen's princess and Aspen's love than be like a literal queen. I'm on page 115 so far, and I forgot how much I like felt bad for Maxon while reading this book. Like, he's a prince, technically he has everything in the sense of like money and notoriety and all of that, but at the same time he has like no sense of normalcy. Like he's literally dating to find a wife through this like weird dating show experiment of dating 35 girls that's also all being televised. It's got to be so bizarre and like the most unnatural way to date, and probably like the majority of the girls are just in it to become royalty. And that's especially shown with this quote where America thinks, "This thing that seemed like a little more than a game show to me was his only chance of happiness." This morning I finished annotating the selection. It's crazy, like I didn't read this book that long ago. And like I obviously remember like the overall story, but there was like so many little moments I just completely forgot about. But yeah, I think I originally gave this book 4.5 stars and I stand by that rating. And definitely a 5-star series overall. Like after this book, I feel like I got so invested in like all the characters and the love triangle and the world. If you're debating reading the series, would highly recommend. Anyway, let's move on to another book. So it ends with us. Whenever I first read this in my reading Colleen Hoover books for a day video, I originally annotated it. So this one is like pretty much ready to go. I am gonna like skim through it just to make sure, you know, that like everything's legible, see if I want to add any other little thoughts and notes, but that should be pretty quick to do. Oh my gosh, I literally just got to the dedication. And it says, "For my father who tried his very best not to be his worst, and for my mother who made sure we never saw him at his worst." After you read the book and the author's note, this dedication hits so differently. It's interesting like re-looking through all of my thoughts on this book, because whenever I first read this book, I had no idea what it was about. Like I went in completely blind, and I really think it's important to note that this book is about domestic violence. I would highly recommend that everyone knows what the book is about before going in, just in case you're sensitive to any of those topics and so you know what you're getting into. But it almost made the reading experience more impactful for me, not knowing that it was about domestic violence beforehand. I feel like I almost went on that journey with Lily of trusting Ryle in the beginning and thinking he was so charming and successful and like cool guy, to being like, okay, there's some red flags, so okay, oh my god, he's abusive, to oh my god, how does Lily get out of this situation? I really like that Colleen Hoover made him likable at the beginning, because I think that just really shows that like anyone can be an abuser. Someone can charm you and seem like the best person, and then may later reveal their true colors. And I also just reread the author's note, and like if you have read this book and haven't read the author's note, read the author's note. Colleen Hoover, basically her mother was in an abusive relationship with her father when she was younger. She really talks about how this book is fiction but is like a very personal story to her. And this last paragraph: "Before I wrote this book, I had a lot of respect for my mother. Now that I've finished it and was able to explore a tiny fraction of the pain and struggle she went through to get to where she is today, I have only one thing to say to her: I want to be you when I grow up." I also love this sentence. She says, "I fashioned Lily after my mother in many ways. They are both caring, intelligent, strong women who simply fell in love with men who didn't deserve to fall in love at all." And yeah, I think when I originally read this book, I gave it 4.5 stars. I don't know that it's like my favorite book like ever, but I definitely think it tells a very important story. And I have never read a book like this before. This book is probably the book I've reread scenes from the most. I've never ever reread a book in my entire life, I don't think. Besides Harry Potter. I did reread Harry Potter. But yeah, all the time I flipped my favorite scenes in this book and reread them. So I think it's gonna be fun to like actually reread this entire book. I forgot how good of a writer Emily Henry is. Like, oh my gosh, she is such a good writer. Like when I was reading the selection, I just kind of like skimmed it, but I'm like legit like rereading this. Like it is so good. I'm getting like so sucked in again. Like the amount of like funny lines, clever lines, the banter, like oh my gosh, Emily Henry is the queen of banter. Like she's just so funny and like clever. Like I don't know, I just like am so impressed by her as a writer. And I love her other books, People We Meet on Vacation and Book Lovers, but there's just something about Beach Read that just like hits different. Like it's so good. Hello, it is the next day. I am on page 228 in my read through, and I'm at the basement scene, which I know is gonna happen in this scene, and I'm so excited to reread it. My favorite scene in the whole book is the drive-in scene. I have reread that scene so many times. That's probably my most reread scene of any book scene ever. Like, it just gives me such butterflies, and I'm already past that part, and the butterflies hit. They hit every single time. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I also got some packages in the mail, and one of these packages, oh, hello, should be some stuff for this video. So let's open them. You would open them too, don't you? Yeah, you love packages. Although this package kind of feels like a book, and I don't think I ordered any books recently. Oh my gosh, somebody sent me a book. That is so sweet. I'm gonna cry, that's so sweet. Dance of Thieves. I am so excited to read this book. I wanna do a video really soon where I read fantasy for a week, just like only fantasy. So this is perfect. I've heard so much good things about this book, and this cover is stunning. That's literally one of the prettiest covers I've ever seen in my life. And the note says, congratulations on 100K on YouTube. Yours is one of the first booktube channels I followed, and I'm so happy I did. Congrats again. I'm so proud, and I can't wait to see what you do next. From Katie, and she put her Instagram handle. Thank you so much, Katie. Okay, I'm gonna message her in a second. So let me open the second package that I got. Okay, this is the package I was expecting. I got a bunch of envelopes and they're pink, so I can send you guys books. This has 25 envelopes, which is so extra. I just need 5. Such a fun color. And then I also got a pack of 100 stickers that are like all reading stickers. So that'd be fun to like decorate these envelopes and just like put in a bunch of stickers. Maybe I'll probably write each of you guys that win like a little personal note and decorate the note with stickers as well. Okay, I'm gonna finish rereading and annotating Beach Read, and then maybe we'll take a little annotation break and I'll decorate some of these envelopes. Okay, I finished reading Beach Read, and I kind of almost think I liked reading it more the second time than the first time. The first time I read this book, I didn't really have much else to compare it to because I hadn't read that many books at that point, and now that I've read so many books, rereading this and still loving it so much just like reaffirms and reassures me that this book is so good. Like one of my top books ever, at least one of my top romances ever, because now I have stuff to compare it to, and it's still amazing. Emily Henry, I bow down to you. 6-star read. If you haven't read this book yet, what are you doing? Go get it, read it, or get it through my giveaway. Okay, let's take a little annotating break because I want to open the stickers that I got. Mean Girls Burn book. I love that. This is cute. Books are better than people. So true. Oh, this little plant reading. That's adorable. Read more books. I like big books and I cannot lie. Okay, cute. Yay, I'm glad these stickers are cute. Oh, I love this quote. It says, "We lose ourselves in books, we find ourselves there too." It tells me, oh, some of the things I do. So Killjoy, the little novella prequel to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I've actually already annotated. I annotated it in my video of finishing the series I'm in the middle of. So this one's already done. But yeah, this book is great. Whether or not you've already read the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, it's a prequel, so it has no spoilers. I read it after already finishing the main 3 books in the trilogy, and even though it was the prequel, I still really enjoyed it. In this book, Pip is at a murder mystery dinner party, so it was cool to see just like how her brain works and how smart she is, and like how she's kind of always had this knack for solving mysteries, and also to see her with all of her friends, because throughout the 3 books in the series, her relationships with her friends definitely change and evolve, and this was like a time before all of the craziness of the series when they were just happy and good friends, so that was kind of like melancholy to see. But yeah, would highly recommend. Another day, another book to annotate. I am really not prepared for this just because of like how sad the ending is. Like I kind of don't want to reread it, but I also do because it's so good. But yeah, this basically is a Greek mythology romance between Achilles and Patroclus. And when I first read this book, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it because I didn't know how I would feel about Greek mythology, but I ended up really loving it. I gave it 5 stars. I also found that I really like mythology. I feel like just learning about like the gods and the myths and the fates and all of this stuff is like so interesting. Fair warning though, do not do Googling while you read this, because I did spoil the ending for myself because I was like Googling about like the characters and the myths and stuff. And I also read like the characters' profiles in the back, which have spoilers, so shouldn't have done all that. But yeah, okay, let's get into it.
I could be you for the day. He dreams of.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally only a few pages in, and I forgot like how much some of the characters in this book suck. Like specifically Patroclus' dad. Like it literally starts out with taking a 14-year-old wife, which is disgusting. And then he's like not sure if his wife that he's taking is gonna be pretty, but he's like, I don't care, there's always like slaves and servants that I can just be with instead on the side. Like, oh my god. It just like brought back so many memories of me reading this book. The culture of this world and time in this book is like so barbaric. Like there's just so much like violence and like horrible people in this book that I forgot about. You know that question that's like, if you could live in a book world, which book would it be? Not this one, I'll tell you that. You would not catch me living in this book. I'm on page 100 exactly, and like this section of the book is just my favorite by far. It's when they're in the forest with Chiron. It's just like the most beautiful, like happiest time in the book, and I wish that the book could like pause here and just stay in this section forever, because I'm not ready for the tragedy that's to come. I also wanted to point out that Madeline Miller is such a beautiful writer. Like right now, Patroclus and Achilles are having like the cutest, sweetest moment, and just like all the metaphors are just so like beautiful and elegant. Like it says, he seemed to swell beneath my touch, to ripen. He went still, soft as the delicate velvet of pearls. He pressed against me, crushing my lips to wine. I forgot how good Patroclus is, like how good of a person is. Like he is like so sweet, so pure. Like currently he's like taking in all these like slave girls and servants and like being so kind to them, making them like his friends, and like that is so sweet. And I kind of forgot like the dynamic between Achilles and Patroclus. Patroclus is just like so pure and so sweet from the beginning, and he just stays that way throughout the whole book, if I remember correctly. But then Achilles, he definitely changes and has some flaws and some ego and desires honor sometimes over what the right thing is. I love that Patroclus is so like sweet and pure and lovable, but I also like enjoy a like morally flawed character like Achilles. I feel like that's so interesting to read about, and it's especially interesting to see their two different dynamics together and how that plays out. I finished the book. It was honestly like sadder than I remembered, which I didn't think was possible. It's just, it's just so sad. And the characters, I just love them so much. Like they just deserve so much happiness. Like they have so much like pain and tragedy in their story, only for it to end in more pain. Like maybe I need to look up like some Achilles Patroclus fanfiction or something, because I literally just want to read about them doing like the most mundane happy things, like getting coffee. Like I want to read about them like going to the grocery store, you know. I know that didn't exist in their time, but they didn't deserve the ending they got. I feel like I need to just like stare at the wall for like 2 hours and process this whole book again. That is all 5 books that I was rereading and annotating for this video and for the giveaway. I then took some Instagram pictures and edited them to make them really fun. And yeah, you can head over to my Instagram if you guys want to enter the giveaway. And I love you all so much, and thank you again for 100K on YouTube.
Tells me go drive in circles again, but this time don't think about what's at the end. Oh my son, don't waste your fun. Tells me go find the ends of the earth. This money I've made is not what it's worth. Oh